Only with an audience listening, with human beings listening to what we do, you can give a great interpretation. Otherwise, it's impossible.
How do you balance the composer's intent with your own interpretation?
Well, I think bringing the personal interpretation, it's unavoidable, it happens, but it's not one or the other. You look at the score, you think of the period and the thoughts behind the composition and the context and the style, etc. And as you are studying, things start to shape up in your personality, in your mind, whether sound, tempo, expression, etc. And when you execute it in the practice with an orchestra, unavoidably there will be things which are personal. You can't give up what's personal. It's actually needed, and that's the way performing live music.
Which conductors have influenced you the most?
Having worked closely with mainly with Maris Jansons and with Claudio Abbado, I think that has a big impact in who I am.
Any non-musical inspirations as well?
I am curious about personalities, sometimes no matter what they do, about people and personalities and their ways of thinking. Arts in general and probably sports also influence me.
What's the biggest difference between conducting a symphony and an opera?
In the preparation of an opera or a symphonic program, there will always be a percentage of something which is not coming from you, which is unplanned. It's coming from the influence and from the visions of the musicians, and that contributes to give shape to the final result. That percentage is much bigger with opera because it has to do with the drama, the theater, the scenic aspect of it, and with, in some cases, so many singers. So as you start the period of preparation, there are so many elements and so many people who bring their point of view. So it's like a living organism which is transforming, evolving, and becoming, even during performances, becoming something which you couldn't do on your own. And that's very gratifying when all works. It can be a very beautiful thing.
What's the most challenging part of connecting the performers and the orchestra from the pit?
You are not on stage, but you are in contact with all of them. You are looking at the movements, you are looking at the singers, you see them breathing, but you are also in contact with the musicians in the pit. You are the only one who does not produce a sound, and therefore you need to be technically, musically connecting all sides, but also just I think the narrative also in a way.
How do you use your body language to shape emotions during a performance?
First of all, you need to know the music as good as you can. And that has to be the core of your conducting. The better you know a score, the more natural it's going to be to express yourself through your body, whether it is with your hands, with your general presence or appearance. Depending what are you thinking, it's going to influence even the way you are looking. I really think the music should live in you as strongly as possible, and therefore the body language and expression, and therefore also facial expression, will take place, and that also will change from person to person.
After 10 years with the Luxembourg Philharmonic, how did your rehearsals evolve?
Basically, the approach is the same, or the organization of a rehearsal is the same, but we know each other since so many years. I think they know beforehand from me what to expect. I also know them and I know what to expect. I can imagine beforehand which are going to be the challenges, but that gives you also the confidence and optimism of knowing how to approach those challenging aspects or moments. Also, when you are going to conduct a piece in Luxembourg, already looking at the score, you are already somehow imagining who is going to be playing and what's going to be the sound like. When the understanding is immediate, deeper, and of better quality, things go faster, and the general understanding is better. Being a conductor, you don't have your instrument daily, so therefore you cannot practice with an instrument when you're looking at the score. You can get to know the score, but the actual feeling the sound and giving shape to sound happens on stage during rehearsals with musicians. If the understanding is greater, Therefore, the music making is also, I think, better, feels deeper and more substantial.
Does the presence of an audience impact a performance?
Very much, and especially I realized of this after we had a few years ago that we were having concerts live streamed without audiences. In the case of halls like in the Philharmonie, where you even feel, or you don't directly see, but you feel the audience not only in your back, but you feel them around at the sides or even in front, there is a context, there is an energy, there is an attention, there is special silence, which is going to be very different silence than the one you have in a general rehearsal without an audience. It's a crucial part of a great interpretation. Only with an audience listening, with human beings listening to what we do, you can give a great interpretation. Otherwise, it's impossible.
Does performing the same concert in different places change your interpretation?
I have the theory that the silence of an audience here and there is different, which is a very weird thing to say because silence is silence, it's the absence of sound. But somehow you feel a different kind of attention. I don't know how to explain, and you just feel it. It's not that you are looking directly at the face of people. Sometimes you feel it's a very attentive, or sometimes very curious, sometimes it's very open-minded, sometimes it's very demanding. Somehow you get to feel that. Maybe also it's psychologically knowing where you are performing, but I do think that an atmosphere is created by an audience, and that varies from a city to another city.
Do you have any pre or post concert routines?
Not very much. I try to have a short nap, maybe eat something for the concert like a banana or some chocolate or something like that. And if there are people around me with whom I can have a conversation or make a joke or feel relaxed or just feel normal, that's something I embrace and makes me feel comfortable, but not much, just get on stage and when I have the orchestra, the score and the audience there, immediately something automatic happens, which, the focus takes place, and so nothing special.